Good evening, I'm Shane Jones, leading the news at 7. It's the start of the Lenten season and several Barbadians flocked to churches across the island to mark Ash Wednesday. Our Lisa Broom took in the service at the St. Mary's Anglican Church and files this report.
With songs and prayers, congregants at the St. Mary's Anglican Church joined hundreds of others across the island to mark the start of the Lenten season. In her first Ash Wednesday service at the church, Reverend Gillian Crawford encouraged the worshippers to develop an attitude of prayer all year round.
As we cultivate a habit and an attitude of eating to nourish our physical bodies, I am challenging you to cultivate an attitude and a habit for nourishing your spiritual bodies. And if you have not done it before, and if you are already doing it, I'm saying to each and every one of you, take time to pray.
The imposition of ashes was the main feature of the special midday service. Reverend Crawford explained the reason behind the tradition.
The ashes remind us of our mortality, and certainly we use the ashes with the cross to remind us who we are in Christ Jesus, and certainly at our burial. And it takes us back to the story of creation in Genesis, where we were formed from the dust of the earth, and at the end, when we die, we will go back to the mortal dust.
The Reverend is satisfied that more people are observing Lent and make it a priority to attend services to receive the ashes as a symbol of the start of their journey through the 40-day period. School children were noticeably absent, but Reverend Crawford says that's not a cause for concern.
Right now, you know that there are a lot of logistics. Like the principal said to me, she has to write to the police and give the police a month notice so that the children can traverse from the school to the church. So it's easier for us to meet the children in the school and give them their own Ash Wednesday service there.
Not only was it Reverend Crawford's first Ash Wednesday at the church, it was also her first sermon there, having only taken up her new appointment today. She did not go into detail, but promised there are special outreach programs planned given the church's location in the city. Lisa Broom, CBC News.
Thanks, Lisa. While Lent is regarded as a period of significance and abstinence from pleasures, not all Barbadians have decided to give up something.
I also try to do some fasting during that period of time. Instead of having 3 meals a day, I'll try to have 1 meal and just have a lot of water. And perhaps when I should be eating another meal, I'll be eating on the Word of God.
I ain't doing nothing for these 40 days. Honestly, I don't really look into that. Because they just go on as days come.
I start eating some, but that's all.
And joining us live now to discuss matters relating to the Lenten period is Canon Arrington Messiah. Canon Messiah, good afternoon, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Okay, let's...
And not only to you, but all of our viewers.
Okay, wonderful. Let's get straight to it. As a man of the cloth, what message would you like to be sent out at this time period right now?
The message that I would like to send is that people should use this time for reflection. And not only that, don't use it for 40 days, but this period should mean a change in one's lifestyle and everything like that.
Okay. Let me ask this, because I know if we go back a bit, in years gone by, we've heard the church has been very vocal about a lot of parties and fetes in this period, but we're not hearing so much about it. Has the church lost that battle?
I don't think so. I think that what has happened, some of our priests, even the Anglican priests, they're afraid to speak, and they are afraid of offending persons. But when it comes to Father Messiah, I will speak in season and out of season, and I am always speaking, and I am against all of these fetes during the Lenten time. You will find that the Trinidad Carnival is finished, and I can book on it that the Trinidadian artists will come to Barbados sometime during this Lenten period and put on a show.
So why are some of these people afraid, as you say? Because normally if you're afraid, you're worried that something may happen to you if you speak out. So what is happening that these priests and pastors are afraid?
But some of them just want to be nice people, you know, but they will refer to Father Messiah as the controversial priest and outspoken. But that does not worry me. I feel that if something is right, it is right. And if it is wrong, it is wrong.
Okay, let's talk a bit about, we just saw some clips about the people saying what they were giving up and what they were not giving up. Have Barbadians lost the contact with the spirituality about what giving up is about, or is it becoming commercial? You know, you're posting on Facebook, on Instagram, what you're giving up. Is it really something, a connection with the church and religion, or is it just commercial now?
I believe it's just a style. I believe if I give up something, I don't only give it up just for Lent, but it should make a difference in my life. And I am convinced that there are persons out there will come on television and they will say, well, I will give up this for Lent. But I believe that during the 40 days, they'll be praying and hoping that the Lenten season would finish so they can get back to their former way of living.
Okay, I know off camera we were talking a bit about the significance of ashes and dust.
Yes. It's a journey from Ash Wednesday to Easter. And during this time, we as a church, we use the ashes as a symbol to remind us of the frailty and uncertainty of human life. And when we look at it, you might not see it as ashes and dust, but at a funeral you'll put a whole coffin and a man or a woman into the grave. And 5 years after the coffin is not there and the man is not there, you will get dust. And it reminds us about dust to dust, ashes to ashes, and earth to earth. It's going to happen to all of us.
Okay, that was wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. That was Canon Messiah speaking about Ash Wednesday. Well, news reports circulating that former Prime Minister Owen Arthur is dead are totally false. It's fake news. Two international news sites, one posing as legitimate news site Al Jazeera, give undated reports that Mr. Arthur was secretly flown to New York for medical attention after battling high blood pressure. However, the authentic Al Jazeera site has no reports of a death, and the most recent article regarding Owen Arthur is from 2006. Mr. Arthur says he's had to battle such rumors before, but reassures he's alive and well.
In amusement, I have to go to Shakespeare, King Lear. As slaves to wanton boys are we to the gods, they kill us for their sport. You can only take this in good spirits and treat it humorously, but it is sad that the social media is used for these kind of purposes.
Speaking of the man, former Prime Minister Owen Arthur confirms he's been asked to chair government's Financial Advisory Committee. The former Prime Minister and former leader of the opposition Barbados Labour Party told CBC today he sees it as his civic duty to assist government when asked. He says he is flattered but not surprised by the invitation. Minister Chris Sinclair first made mention of the Financial Advisory Committee in Monday's State of the Economy address, but Mr. Arthur suggested it's yet to be formalized.
He has not formally announced anybody's name. He just hinted at it and they confirmed that I had been approached. He has not put a council in place. I don't know who all the members are. We have not met with the minister to discuss terms of reference or remit or whatever else. It is an advisory body, not an executive body. So it will not make the decisions, it will give advice. And I want to stress that point because there's still a government that has the duty and the right to make the decisions. A government also has a right to ask people to advise it. And this is all the government is doing. Could you give us some advice, please?
Regarding the central bank's printing of money, he agrees with former Governor Dilal Wall that it's not a practical option. Mr. Arthur also points out it's not the first time he's been approached by a sitting government to help with economic affairs.
In 2014, if you will recall, Mayor Marley volunteered me without the knowledge of the government or my prior support to serve as the head of an eminent person group to be a constituted on the 9th of January to advise the government by the 15th of January as to what its economic policy should be. So that Mayor volunteered me. Chris is trying now to volunteer me as well. So at least I have found a way to bring the two parties of Barbados together as one.
There are concerns that the public is no longer paying attention to the HIV and AIDS prevention campaign. Word of this from Principal of the Barbados Workers Union Labour College, Doreen Dean, during a workshop on excellence in customer service, HIV, AIDS and discrimination in the workplace. She says the sexual behavior of men is particularly worrying, given recent data from the HIV/AIDS Commission. This data suggests there is inconsistent condom use and low numbers being tested for sexually transmitted diseases. Ms. Dean called for a reinvigorated campaign against HIV and AIDS.
We have either forgotten that HIV and AIDS is still a threat, or we have not been adhering to the information which we have been fed since the early 1980s. That means, therefore, that we must redouble the education on HIV and AIDS and sexually transmitted infections if we are to save the lives of our workforce and our families.
Coming up, Riri adds another title to an already glittering array.
Don't let your data experience slow you down. Step up to Digicel, Barbados' fastest 4G network, more than twice as fast as the slow network. Get more with Digicel. Digicel, the fastest 4G network in Barbados. Dial *153# to sign up to Digicel today.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits, with a solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter, that's the move for me. Stability, prosperity, with a solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
Good morning. We're wishing you, of course, a terrific Thursday. We've got a great show lined up for you.
Of course, we are going to talk a bit more about the physical development plan and what that means for us here in Barbados, right across the urban corridors and also in those rural areas.
We'll spend some time telling you about growing trends, where we've been helping you navigate the drought, and there's more information to come from our agronomist, Stevenson Ski.
And of course, we have our lawyer on the line, another interesting topic, so you can look out for that on the Thursday edition of Morning Barbados.
See you bright and crispy at 6.
Good morning, Morning Barbados.
Several innovative ideas and proposals have been touted as part of the community plans for Warrens and Wildy under the Physical Development Plan. They include improvements to traffic, transit points and green spaces. Kismar Sinjus has more.
The idea of a high-occupancy vehicle lane on the ABC highway is one such proposal that could ease traffic. That lane, according to urban planner Anna Ionici, will stretch from Wildy to Warrens. She provided further insight into the proposal during her presentation.
Where only people who have more than one, maybe more, even more than two people in their vehicle can use this lane between those two destinations, and at either end there would be a place where you could leave your car and have the option possibly to get onto some other form of transportation. So that's an idea which supports this whole idea of trying to make better use of the existing capacity on your streets to move more people rather than moving more vehicles.
It must be noted that the plan does not involve the addition of more lanes on the ABC highway. It involves changing the use of at least one of the existing lanes to increase capacity. Urban designer Tyler Baker says Warrens is an area that is set to undergo further expansion. Notwithstanding this, he says significant improvements are on the cards to provide what he termed a more walkable environment. An open space where trees can be planted and a transit terminal have been proposed.
The location is not exactly chosen yet, but the direction is that Warrens has seen a lot of growth recently, and providing alternative forms of transportation is really key to providing for future growth. And I mentioned that there's a network of transportation nodes across the island, and we really see Warrens as a key part of that network. It would be a place for public buses, private buses, taxis, to switch between those various services. It might incorporate a park and ride where you can leave your car and get on a bus, and a place to pick up and drop off people at the bus as well.
As it relates to Wildy, the vision for that area is also further development.
It will develop as an emerging regional center with nationally significant cluster of employment, education, recreation, and institutional uses. Further growth will be accommodated through intensification and redevelopment, and supported by innovative transportation solutions. Connections between complementary uses east of the Errol Barrow Highway will be strengthened to create a green, walkable, and active health and wellness precinct, which I'll talk a little bit more about. Improvements to the public realm and pedestrian infrastructure will tie the Wildy Community Plan area together.
A number of prominent persons was in attendance, including present and former parliamentarians and grassroots activists. Chief Town Planner Mark Cummins assured that they are seeking to ensure that Barbados has the best possible physical development plan over the next 15 to 20 years. Kishmar St-Gis, CBC News.
Barbadian songstress Rihanna can now add Humanitarian of the Year to her growing resume. The 29-year-old singer was presented with the award in person at Harvard University.
Rihanna was awarded the honor in recognition of her many humanitarian projects. Recently, she offered support to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital's radiotherapy department, which was later renamed the Clara Brathwaite Center for Oncology and Nuclear Medicine. It was named in honor of her grandmother, who died of cancer. Rihanna has also set up a scholarship fund to help Caribbean students studying in the U.S.
So I made it to Harvard. Never thought I'd be able to say that in my life, but it feels good. Thank you, Dr. Counter. Thank you to the Harvard Foundation, and thank you, Harvard University, for this great honor. Thank you. I'm incredibly humbled by this, to be acknowledged at this magnitude for something that, in truth, I've never wanted credit for.
Rihanna says she was inspired as a teenager after seeing advertisements encouraging people to donate to assist people in Africa. And so she started her first charitable organization at the age of 18. The Barbadian pop star says it shouldn't be that hard to extend a helping hand and challenged others to help at least one person.
Expecting nothing in return. To me, that is a humanitarian. People make it seem way too hard, man. The truth is, and what the little girl watching those commercials didn't know, is that you don't have to be rich to be a humanitarian. You don't have to be rich to help somebody. You don't gotta be famous. You don't even have to be college educated.
The singer joins an illustrious list of past recipients that includes former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, Pakistani activist and Nobel Peace Laureate Malala Yousafzai, and singer Lionel Richie. Lisa Broom, CBC News.
Up and on, Riri. Well, the Democratic Labour Party, through its General Secretary George Pilgrim, has congratulated Rihanna on the honor conferred by Harvard. In a statement issued on Monday, Mr. Pilgrim said the award demonstrates the Bajan superstar has shone not only on stage but also off the stage. He notes that through her efforts, Barbados and its healthcare system both derived excellent benefits from her kindness. He further states that Rihanna represents Barbados and demonstrates the mettle of talent the country has waiting to be unearthed. The DLP is encouraging young artists to take advantage of the recently passed Cultural Industries Act. The Minister with responsibility for small business, Donville Innes, wants that sector to become more globally competitive and technologically driven. He was speaking during a member meeting of the Small Business Association held at Bagnall's Point Gallery, Pelican Village. He revealed that a policy framework has been created to guide the development of the critical sector in Barbados over the next 10 years.
It is therefore envisaged that this policy framework will greatly assist in facilitating the attainment of the 5 major national goals for the sector, which are increased export development, internationalization of the sector, the development of a cadre of innovative micro, small, and medium enterprises, increased employment generation, and increased efficiency and productivity among the sector.
Mr. Innes explained how the new policy will lay the foundation for facilitating micro, small, and medium enterprise development.
By enabling them to contribute towards the attainment of an enabling business environment, a stable macroeconomy, international competitiveness, a transformational culture that promotes entrepreneurship in Barbados.
A promising young lady whose life has been cut short. That's the view of those in attendance as hundreds gathered for a service of praise and thanksgiving for the life of 12-year-old Destiny Thompson.
Tears flowed freely at the St. Philip Parish Church as friends, family, and well-wishers gathered to bid 12-year-old Destiny Thompson farewell. She died after being involved in an accident with a car last month along Boarded Hall Main Road, St. George, moments after disembarking a public transportation vehicle. At the funeral service, she was described as a fun-loving friend, cook, and sports enthusiast, but most of all, a young woman of God. Destiny's uncle and Barbados cricketer Mario Rampersad, in his tribute, gave a glowing review of her short life and highlighted respect for others as one of her key guiding principles.
Des had a supernatural relationship with her mother. They had a sisterly relationship, one like no other. As soon as she got into the car, she would begin rattling off about what happened the day at school. Her mom would know everything that happened at Springer that day. There was nothing that she kept as a secret from her mom. Despite the sisterly relationship, Destiny was sure not to cross the line, and she had the utmost respect for not only her mother, but those that are older than her.
Tributes flowed from the school choir and the Faith Miracle Church choir. Reverend Sandra Hazel, who knew her before she was born, described her life as one which could be used by those who knew her as an inspiration. She encouraged the congregation by reminding them that although long life is extremely desirable, they should trust in God, knowing that His ways are perfect.
That is why we can only trust in His love, for no amount of resentment or anger or anything else on our part can do more for our loved ones than His love.
Before the body was taken from the church, hundreds of balloons decorated the sky in a show of respect for a life that, even though short, will have a long-lasting impact.
Rest in peace, Princess.
Kareem Smith, CBC News.